Welcome, Chiefs Kingdom, on a night that I guess that you're probably happy. At least you got to be happy with something, right? I think that it's going to be okay. We're here. It's post-game after the Chiefs have defeated the Green Bay Packers. We're going to get into the ifs, maybes, whats, and just be glad you got to win. Welcome to RGR Football. Welcome back. It's RGR Football. Ryan going rogue. I'm Ryan. He's Dan. That way, I'm doing it wrong.
It's over here.
Always.
This guy,
Mr. Daniel Harms. A win is a win is a win. And after what it was kind of a crazy day, I think I'll just take it and shut up and move on. How you feel?
I mean, honestly, when you look back at the day that it was in the NFL, yes, you can kind of feel like that. I'm going to be more pessimistic about it because you're still seeing some issues that have crept up week in and week out for the Chiefs on offense. But again, I know that the Chiefs played Jordan Love. I get it. I understand. But everybody outside of Aaron Rodgers was in that game. They had their offense, and the Chiefs defense did what had to be done. I know that touchdown's not really on Dan Sorensen anymore. Like, it's not. It's Spagnuolo putting him out there and putting him in that position. Like, you can directly correlate that to Steve Spagnuolo and say, look, at this point, you're just doing it yourself, man. Dan Sorensen's out there, and everyone and Jordan Love, as soon as they saw fourth and 5, and he saw him out there, he was like, okay, I got to throw it. I got to throw it to Dan. And he did.
I literally talked to, if you guys missed it, Tom Grossi was on with me on Friday. We literally said that. And I told him, if you want to get completions, find 4-9 and throw it in that direction. And unfortunately, Spags, what are you doing? What are you doing? He's out there for 4.5 snaps, and 3 of them he didn't know where to line up. I've had enough. Folks, welcome to the show.
Yes.
This is not the Dan Sorensen torture show.
Sorry, guys.
This is the post-game of the Green Bay Packers. We're going to get into all of it. It is not the Q&A show. We'll hit a couple of them in here as we go through our notes. Monday night, tomorrow night is Q&A, 6 p.m. Central. You can see it up in the corner over there. That's when we'll answer all of your questions. I'll be here. Dan's usually here, depending on family and whatever else, so you never know.
I will be there.
We will definitely answer your questions. Want to go through our notes, and we have some super chats. If you want to support your channel, the best way to do it, the easiest way to do it, is the super chats like Stevie Keys did here. Stevie is one of our contributors as well. If you guys missed Rogue Head Huddle, you should have watched it on Friday, but it is up still. So you get him and Gooch, not completely raw, that's Gooch after dark, but close to their actual opinions and what they're looking for. So we're going to dive in. We'll get the super chats and we'll hit the notes as we go. So Stevie, the offense looks like Andy, Pat, and Eric are all fighting over the direction to take the offense, and the byproduct is a dysfunctional unit. Not saying it's actually the case, it just looks like it. Well, thank you, Stevie, as always, for your undying support.
The super chat.
And I can understand where you're coming from because it does not look coordinated. It looks sloppy. And I will say this, the last couple of drives, I think it started to click for Patrick that he was in reach of a win and he didn't feel like he had to continue to push downfield unless there was something there. And if he could just take that away, if he can go home and sleep tonight and just be like, okay, that's what it's like when I just got to target the middle. Hey, Kelsey was wide open over the middle of the field. It's like we've been telling you this for like 6 weeks. If that clicks, then he's okay. I think that balances out the Sorensen thing. And I know there's a lot of Sorensen comments in here.
Yeah.
Dan and I feel the same way. I'm very sure. One point to clarify, a lot of people talking about Juan getting benched. Dan, clear that up for us.
Yeah, no, he did not get benched. They just play 3 safeties. So Dan Sorensen on the field, Matthews on the field, and Thornhill's on the field. He never got benched. It wasn't all of a sudden Thornhill just did a bad thing because he was one of the consistent players in this game the entire game. So, I mean, he's been excellent since he's been the starter. So, yeah, they didn't bench him.
Yeah. And that's key because like TTKC, thank you for the support. Yes. We know you guys are frustrated. I'm frustrated even. And it's been rare this season that I've gotten to the point where my fan comes out because that's how frustrated I am. But it is to that point. He's not going away, you guys. He's never going to go away. But you have to enjoy this fact that this is low snap counts for him. He has been relegated to the backup role. That's the way it's got to stay. And if you can continue to do well at the outside, like we saw tonight, where Snead obviously had a great game. But kudos to Travarius Ward because he got the one PI, but other than that, he was pretty tough on Devontae Adams, the best receiver in the league as well. And yes, I did say that if I had my ranking out today, Devontae Adams is 1 and Tyreek Hill is 2.
It was, and I mean, they didn't hit Travarius Ward on some of those in-breaking routes when the guys were wide open. And I'll say that because for the most part, it feels like Ward has some good plays when he only has to play on the outside. If you play on the outside and he can turn and force you to the sideline, that's where he's best. If he has to do anything else, he's at a complete disadvantage. And it looked like that. But they were lucky enough that the Spags dialed up so many blitzes against a young guy who didn't really know what to do against it. And they were able to minimize that. And luckily, he took more shots at an experienced actual corner who can change direction and get his head around in Snead than he did to Ward, although he did make some good plays in the game.
Yeah. And for those of you asking, yes, the defense played much better, markedly better. And the offense didn't turn the ball over. Even with those two things, if Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback tonight, this is a 15, 18-point loss.
Yes.
Let's be honest. 13 points is not enough in this league. It doesn't matter. But you can only play who shows up. So on the flip side, I don't want to hear tomorrow morning the talking heads, Bob Fesco and all the rest of you.
Oh, they will.
Almost said something I shouldn't have there. I don't want to hear this BS. Well, you only beat Jordan Love. He's the guy they had to play. That's your job. Beat that guy on that night. End of story. That's it. So hopefully you guys are all that. A lot of Sorensen. Yes, we're all with you on that. Let's hit Bill Bradley's question here. Thank you, Bill, as always. Having a game of no turnovers and having Patrick possibly his best third down conversion throw of the season to ice the game was huge for his confidence and for the team moving forward. I couldn't agree with you more. And I think particularly the two throws, the late one to Hill and the middle one to Travis was like, especially the scramble, that's a little bit more like, oh, Patrick being Patrick, but at a reduced scale.
Yeah.
He can get comfortable just doing that, making those plays and not having to be, 60 yards down the field.
Yeah, no, and it was, I know it's not going to go down huge. It was, a 15-yard completion to Hill at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But again, as much as it was on Mahomes to make the play, the Packers let him do what he wants to do. They blitzed him. They brought an extra man. They got him rolling out to his right. He was running full speed, which is what he does. He runs full speed, and he gets the ball where it needs to go. So that is enough for me to say that he's going to probably feel a little bit better tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wakes up, say, I made the play to win the game, because he did. And that could be enough to click some confidence back into him that he's missed all season.
Yeah.
Maybe not all season,
but in twinges, right? Like, it's still there. Like, I felt like he was more accurate as a whole tonight.
Well, I don't think so. I disagree with that.
Oh, really? Okay. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm just not paying enough attention, but I didn't see the drastic, where Travis is like full arm length, the ball's behind him kind of throws. Maybe it was just a lesser degree and I'm being optimistic. I don't know. But
no, I mean, he had, and the thing about the deep shots is there was a couple of them. The one to Hardman, he never should have thrown. That was double coverage. But he had Tyreek Hill multiple times in single coverage down the field, and he just overthrew him. Like, he's got him open. You just got to drop it in the bucket, which we've seen him do time after time, and he's been unable to do it. So, yes, for taking some of those deep shots, you probably don't need to, but you found Tyreek Hill multiple times down the field, and you just overthrew him. That's got to be better.
It's all step forward, but it's all got to be better. I'm completely with
all
you
of
there.
it.
Let's take the positives from this and roll it in. Hopefully that's enough. I hope that it is. Stevie, good point. It looked like Specs was trying to hide that he was going to drop Sorensen in a single high in the cover 2 at the end. That's true. It should have been him high, because even where he was on that particular play where you see him turn around, he's trying to figure out what he's supposed to do. He's never going to be matched up with Lazard in a one-on-one. He shouldn't be. That guy's way faster than a tight end. And so he should have been high already. And here's the thing. You saw them put the graphic up there on the screen. Hey, there's nobody here in the middle, because Spags is either blitzing where there shouldn't be anybody up there, but a lot of times he just sugars. He wants to show you that, and he tries to get guys to drop 20 yards into their deep 2 zones. And that's the problem. So luckily it didn't bite him, and that's playing a rookie. And so for those of you like, oh, congratulations, you beat a backup. Fair enough. But that's the way that it goes. You got to beat the guy that's on the field for you. Thank you, Stevie. Brother Rick, thank you as well. What did you see here, Dan?
Man,
I thought Watts made it on the field. I just wasn't sure if it was defense or special teams.
I thought it was special teams. I didn't see him on the field at defense. And there's right now, there can't be any worse player than Dan Sorensen at safety. Armani Watts has to give you something more, if not just athletically and speed. He has more in that area. You have to, if you're going to put in the third safety on the field, it has to be someone that can offer speed and athleticism. And Watts can do that. Sorensen can't anymore. He can't.
Time catches up with all of us. Some of us hear that we have run out of talent in high school. Some of us hear it in college, and some of us hear it in the pros. But everyone hears it eventually.
Yep.
Your talent is gone. Your legs are gone. You can't do it anymore. That's just the bottom line. And if you can do it, you got to do it somewhere else.
Yep.
That's it. Hi, Gooch. You did hear your name. I'm glad you're here, folks. Aaron is on his way home. He's trying to pay attention, but he's at the game, so we're just rolling on ourselves tonight. I thought that one of my big notes early was, yes, I like the getting physical, running the ball more, but I didn't like the fact that they didn't go at the quick end. I didn't see enough of those rhythm throws for me that I wanted to see them hit really early.
That, and then, Andy Reid is when Patrick Mahomes talked about getting bored, it wasn't just about him. Andy Reid does the same crap, and when they had a really good drive going, they do all this, let's go bring the ball back here, this end around stuff, and bring it back with Tyreek Hill. Just run the ball. Just run the ball. When you're having success, just run the ball and get the ball out quickly. They did that a couple times at the end of the game.
Yep.
They went to Hardman there to get that first down. But every time they find themselves having success in one way, they derail themselves. Like there was one time they ran the ball on first down for 8 yards. Okay. 2nd and 2. Incompletion to McCole Hardman. Incompletion to Tyreek Hill. To Travis Kelce. Just run the ball for 2 yards. Like it's
not that hard.
It's not hard.
I mean, and Bobby Stoops said it tonight too. He's like, this should be an I formation team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, until you get them out of it. And you saw that. They got man coverage late.
Yes.
Of all things. A lot of praise for the new DC in Green Bay, but that was a miscalculation.
That was dumb.
That was, yeah. So, I mean, again, things working into the Chiefs' favor, but that is because they were running the ball well. And you got the feeling down there that Andy was just going to hand it off and make them come down, and they got what they wanted. That's how the game works. So kudos to the staff, to Andy in particular, to just going a little bit back to basics. Not all the way for me. He's not quite far enough, but it's like, oh yeah, I remember when I used to coach in like college, I could do this basic stuff and manipulate the defense just based on personnel, and that's how it goes. Coach Bob Sutton, welcome into the chat. Glad you're here. Appreciate the super chat.
Thank you.
I love the show as well. I miss you from the old days with the Jets and Rex. So I don't come out of retirement, bro. Be a consultant. But I appreciate you for being in here. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the defense. Hit me on Twitter. I don't know who changed themselves to Bob Sutton.
I don't know, but I love it.
Kudos to you. I thought it might be Gooch, but Gooch is still Gooch. So hey.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Gooch. I'll remember that. It's my fault.
And he did say hi. He wants you to remember that it's Brian, possibly. Maximo, thank you for making it back. Good to see you. Black Steel members in here. Good to see you. Stack Bundles. Let's see. You guys had something else that I had in my notes that was going to trigger me, and then I lost it because scrolling stucks. Xanax. Good point. This team had a shutout for almost 3 quarters. And again, rookie quarterback. But you notice they got gashed early against the run, and then they fixed that and made the Packers go away from the run. This could have been like a hell of an evening for them to just get run on if the defense didn't step up all the way around.
You're not wrong. I mean, Love's essentially a rookie. He was drafted 2 years ago, but he was like inactive all of last season.
Yeah, this is his first snaps ever.
He's technically a rookie, but they were still able to do some things in the run that I didn't like. There was a lot of overrunning from the linebackers again. I feel like you're still having some of that issue that I didn't notice the last 2 weeks. I'm just going to say that out loud. Because
shocking.
I don't know. Weird. I mean, maybe taking your best Mike out of his position makes that. And
it exposed him. He had a couple of plays
that
he just couldn't keep up with. And that. I mean, you can always say it's on him because it's the responsibility, but you got to put him in a position to do his best. and hits should be out there. We said it before. Spag wouldn't listen to us, you guys. I'm going to keep saying it till he changes his mind.
Yeah, me too. But again, like Frank Clark in this game, we talked about it before we came on. He was everywhere. That was one of the things that I took away from, as much as the defense was getting, moved down. At the end of the day, they cracked down. They had a ton of pressure in this game, and Frank Clark looks healthy. Like, he looks healthy.
Ooh, good
looks
point.
very good.
And Tom, hopefully you're still here before you left, but thanks. Appreciate the support and enjoy Yellowstone. That leads us into a couple of other folks asking, like, what was the snap count for Melvin Ingram? Alex, I don't have the count myself. I counted about 8, but I wasn't religiously watching specifically for Melvin.
I noticed Ingram a bit more early on than I did later in the game. And I don't know if that was by design or what, but I think he maybe got about 10. I think that's about right.
Something like that. And I'll tell you this. I think Melvin Ingram, and maybe Frank's hamstrings are just better, and he's getting healthier. But Melvin Ingram was the kick in the ass that I thought Frank needed, that I thought Jaron Reed was going to be. Seems it's Melvin Ingram. I don't know.
I don't know. He looks like the get off is there. It's back to what it was in Seattle. Like, that was the get off that we saw today. Timing things properly. Speed to power is back. Getting underneath tight ends, not having to deal with them because he doesn't have to, but the understanding of where the play is developing and getting underneath blocks, something he hasn't done in 2 years, the last 2 years in Kansas City. He's finally starting to put it back together. These are back to back to back now. 3 games that he's played very well and gotten better every time. So I like it. I'm still going to temper everything, but Frank Clark has played probably as good of football as he's played in Kansas City the last 3 games.
Yeah. Marshall, thank you for the support. Appreciate it. Do you think the decline in Patrick's accuracy is due to his progressions being off, or is there something bigger going on, like mental or physical? I think it's a bit of everything, truthfully.
It's all. I think confidence is affecting everything, and I'm gonna say something that maybe people don't really want to hear. They're not scheming up plays outside of like first reads for anybody outside of Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and occasionally McCall Hardman with a quick check. That's a problem.
They came out the second half through to Josh Gordon on what was a great play by the defender. You got to give him credit. And I didn't call that a drop, did you?
I think if it hits you in the hands, I know that they make a play on the ball. So I'll give it some. For me, it's more of a push because I think you can, as a bigger body guy, you can make a play on the ball. But defender's there in good position, gets his hand in there. So I wouldn't like chart it as a drop. Okay. But I think that you can make that play.
Yeah, he could have done more. I'm with you there. I think he was surprised at how well the DB was able to play it myself. Yeah. I give more credit to the DB, but my point is they didn't go back to him. That's the problem. That play was there when they were down in the red zone. All you had to do is run a pivot route with Gordon in particular when he was on the outside and had the whole hash to himself.
Yeah, I know.
A little in-out move, and he's home free in the corner of the end zone. There's issues here. 4th down in my notes is like, why get cute? Why leave a defensive end unblocked, Travis Kelce? I don't know if that was design or Travis's mistake, but that rush, and it was what's his name? Rashad Gary, of all people. Yeah. Not exactly the explosive get-off guy, but you leave him unblocked, really he produces the pressure. He's good, but he's not fast. This isn't Burns coming off the edge.
Oh no,
you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, he's not a guy you can leave unblocked and just act like nothing's going to happen. That pressure caused the problem. That lost 4th down again. They lost 4th down a second time. I'm trying to remember. Like, okay, we hit the Frank thing. And the last drive of the first half. Did you have any general takeaways from that? Thank you, Marshall.
Yes, thank you, Marshall. I don't remember the last drive of the first half.
Okay. It looked they zoned in on Tyreek Hill grossly. And
yes, I remember. Yeah. So was that the one where he almost got picked?
It was the one before that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. They did end up getting a field goal out of it, but again, like, there's just the Mahomes is, and I don't know if it's by design because they only draw up plays for certain players because right now that's what it looks like, and like just like on the throw that should have been intercepted, when you're trying to take the safety and push him off one side and you're only looking that way and you expect something to happen on the backside because it's all based on timing and you're not looking at your players being open or not, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And Mahomes is expecting players defenders to move like they always used to. They're not doing that anymore because the routes have become predictable.
Well, I think they are scheming for Hardman a little bit, but he keeps making mistakes, like Gooch is pointing out here. Thank you for this one, Gooch. I thought it was Demetrius Harris on that easy third down drop, but it was Stonehands Hardman. Gooch, for your After Dark or the Huddle this week, I want to know what you think of Hardman overall. I'm not trying to say you have to cut him because he's got another contract year, so I don't see him going anywhere. But I will say this. I tweeted out my sleeper that I've been holding on for about 6 weeks now, holding for the draft show. I tweeted out my slot sleeper because I think he is only a slot guy, but he is Steve Smith in the slot. And he plays at Western Kentucky. You guys need to go check that out. I want to know your opinion, Gooch. So maybe that just sets you up for this week's content. Brian, thank you very much. Is there something systemically wrong with the offense? Something deep Mahomes is not. It's stubbornness. They're still not changing enough of their offense. This was better tonight, but it's still, we want to be who we are, not what they're going to let us be. Mahomes is a caged animal right now.
Yep.
He's a tiger on a leash. And it's pissing him off. And I think that's leading to him not only making mistakes, but making assumptions about things that he can do in tighter coverage in smaller spaces.
I agree. And I'm going to get to one of the best part about this game. The Chiefs' special teams today was lights out. Tommy Townsend was booting the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't say lights
except
out.
Except for McCole.
McCole Hardman. I just kind of ignored McCole when I was talking about it. But the special teams outside of McCole was great. Like, he had those punts were beautiful. They were stopping inside the 10, inside the 5. Then you finally get that. It should have been a touchdown. You get the deflection off of the guy going down. Harrison Butker was great. Like, they did a great job on special teams today, outside of Hardman, which we don't have to talk about ever again. But Tommy Townsend, man, when he's having to be used a lot, he can change some aspects of the game for you. He did that today.
I mean, this is what it looks like. This is old school ball tonight, folks.
Yeah,
good defense. You punt when you need to, and you pin them tight. That's what old school ball is, and it shows them. And I hope that they take this away, Andy in particular, that if that's the way they have to win for a while, then that's the way they have to win. All that matters at the end of the day is the W's. That's it.
Yep. They got to get right some way. You finally won 2 games in a row in the season. That's the first time they won 2 games in a row. Maybe that'll help. Maybe it'll help.
Momentum is a real thing in locker rooms, folks. Confidence is a real thing on the field. Those 2 things are going in the right direction. Finn, you're right, 13 points, but W's W. Yep. Daryl, thank you for the support. We appreciate it, and I'm glad you brought that up because I have a lot of notes about the defensive line here. In particular, I thought Noddy played well, particularly in pass rush situations. He got a couple of pressures. I thought Reed sparked a couple of times, more against the run, in my opinion. Did you see anything from him?
Yeah, Reed was really good against the run. There was a couple of times he got held, in my opinion, and hooked a little bit, and you could see it when both him and Jones were like opening up. Either one of them was getting like hooked a little bit just to open up some of the holes, but he's just been much better overall against the run the last couple of games too. So that's always good to see.
Chris Hughes, thank you as well. I thought they were going to miss Saunders in the rotation. I think that would have kept everybody a little bit healthier, but honestly, they didn't exploit it as much as I expected them to. Saw Turk Wharton made a couple of runs, and I thought Melvin, in fact, I tweeted it out in particular, his spin move is still tight as sin.
It's really good.
And I think as he plays into this, I think it's going to help a lot, Chris. Thank you for the support. And I think they're going to be in better shape going forward when they have to spread out the protection, and they might even have to chip now. That's going to help the defense over.
Yeah.
Take this one. Okay, another Melvin one. Were you happy with him as I am? I know she's not happy, but are you?
Yes, I'm happy. She's trying to open the door and she can't open the door. Like, I don't know what's going on. And she's just freaking out. But yeah, I think Ingram looked good, and he's going to look better as they get more involved into. I said yes. Yes, I did.
If she needs dad time, I can take this. No problem, man. It's okay, sweetheart.
She just wanted to say hi.
Oh, good. Everyone say hi. There she is. and Jason, thank you for the support. We're reluctant to say it any other way. Sorensen's playing because Spags likes him. That's what it is. There's no other way to do it. The fact that you ran Neiman and Sorensen as your nickel pair at linebacker is just a refusal to look at the alternatives. There's no reason. There's not a single reason for Willie Gay to be off of this field on defense, period. No matter what. The guy had back-to-back games with interceptions, and you stick him on the bench for Ben Neiman and Sorensen. It makes zero sense. Unless you're worried about him, overtaxing him with too many reps or something like that, which you need to say out loud, because the rest of us who actually understand this game think you're nuts that he's not on that field 100% of the snaps.
Okay. When 3rd and 4 comes around and you see Ben Neiman and Dan Sorensen on the field, I'm just like, what are you doing? It just doesn't make sense. 3rd and 4, no. Maybe 3rd and long, maybe. But no, I still would never do it. I'm
with you, Brendan. To go to that, isn't Andy to blame for Sorensen? I know Spags runs the defense, but it's still Andy's team. If he's such a great coach, shouldn't he be able to see that Sorensen is ruining this game? This is a two-edged sword. You can handle it, or I'll just say it out loud.
Go ahead. Just say it.
People want to ask if it's just the BYU connection and that Andy likes the guy. That's an aspect of it. He has more rope to hang himself with because of that. But that's not the only reason. It's because Andy does try to stay hands off with the defense. And because he doesn't want to have to deal with it. That's the DC's job. And so that, combined with the fact that he's got a little soft spot for him, it's not what some people are suggesting that that's all that is. Because quite frankly, Andy's not going to put his job or Spag's job or this team's future in the hands just because he likes a guy from BYU. It is in the back there somewhere. It's an influence. It's not a reason. So that said, they don't trust the other DBs, particularly Watts and Zane Anderson. Zane's a rookie, so I completely understand it. They don't trust him to come in and be the third safety and understand the differences. The problem is Dan used to know this stuff, and now he walks on the field and he's got to ask questions every 5 seconds. So the mental aspect, and you're great about always pointing this out every week, Dan, the mental acuity that is his advantage isn't his advantage anymore.
Yeah, when you can't do, like, it's just like Ben Neiman. They talk all of this about how they're the smartest players, and that's why they trust them out there. But when your body cannot physically do and tell you, I just can't get there anymore. I can't do it. Dan Sorensen can't do it anymore, guys. He hasn't been able to do it for a year and a half, in my opinion. And he's just, it's bad. And you're seeing it now. Teams are continuously exploiting it, and they will every single week in those positions.
And let's be, no, hang on. I'll hold it for just a minute. Marshall, good point. Thank you for this. The addition of Ingram does allow for a little more rotation, particularly for Clark. I thought Dana put in some good snaps on 1st and 2nd down tonight, so I think that helps as well. And to have that bump instead of going from Dana to Okafor, who nice job on special teams, but he's not a pass rush monster. Going from Dana to Melvin on 3rd down is a big, big difference.
Yes, it helps a lot.
It will definitely pay off. So thank you. Kenneth Rusher, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. It's awesome.
And Laddie agrees. Laddie's covered this team for a very long time as well. And at the end of the day, it's not having an alternative that you feel can understand everything you want to do. Again, they didn't take Juan off the field. They went to the 3 safety dime. And if you don't have a guy with experience in that, I would think that by now Armani probably knows how to do it. That's a lack of confidence in Armani in order to make that switch, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. Thank you, Laddie, as always.
Yes,
appreciate
thank you very
much. Jonathan, in my crazy, does it seem like we are doing a lot less of the pre-snap motion than we used to get so much info out of? It is partially because when you have high shells, you don't have to really dumb it down as much. You know what I mean? I think part of the problem is that we're not seeing enough jet sweep action, in my opinion.
I mean, if you want to use more jet sweep action, maybe they should start actually having a run game. Like, they need to use more play action, true play action. I don't care so much about the pre-snap movement. They don't do enough true play action to actually force some linebackers to make adjustments. They're just standing there. And Mahomes knows it too. The one time that I actually saw him kind of get the ball into the gut and then pull it out and do a true play action, it was like a 15-yard gain, and then they never went back to it. So I don't know what's going on at that point.
And to your point, when they finally did, and Andy was running the ball heavily in the second half, they ended up 25 carries to 38 dropbacks. It's about a 40% ratio, as I understand it, if I have my math right. That's okay. But when they went to it late, that's when they got the man coverage, because they brought somebody down into the box to stop the run.
Yep.
You guys, you can talk to anybody you want. And Vass will tell you the same thing. And if you guys haven't seen Vass, you still have to go back and watch the members video with Vass. Like, there's all this complexity. There's all these things and rules and stuff. At the end of the day, it comes down to it really is checkers, not chess. If you force a guy that's getting out physical and dominated up front, he puts more resources into the front, and that allows you to go deep. That's the basic necessity of it.
Yeah. I was told all week that even running a little bit isn't going to force teams out of it, but here we are. We saw it firsthand, and it gave you man coverage.
And I am like, play action works. Running the ball successfully makes play action more effective. Yes. You're still going to get a little bite, but like you said, like especially the RPO thing and the half handoff kind of thing, that doesn't work anymore. That's not drawing anybody.
No, they don't respect it.
Exactly. Stevie, thank you again. Great special teams today. The Snead INT. That was anything but a gimme. Yeah, absolutely.
It actually was a gimme. He said, gimme.
Yeah, he wanted it more than Adams did. And you can see a couple plays before that, they even showed him on the sideline where Adams, where that ball was too far out of bounds, that he probably had Fenton beat. He also came back shaking his head, and you can see that Adams was down at that point. Snead wanted it more, and he took the ball away from him. That's what it comes down to. And yes, I know you guys can give me static. I got some of it on Twitter. I'm still going to call him my boy because I told you about him first before any of you guys ever heard of him. Every time I get people telling me that. Tactics, you're alive.
What's going on,
you're
man?
back. Hope you're doing well. How many teams have a good offensive line and 2 Hall of Fame receivers and struggle this much? Cowboys.
How many teams are facing exactly what the Chiefs do every single week, and they refuse to adjust offensively? Only one team in the NFL is doing this every week and continuously to bash their heads against the wall. It's just the Chiefs. That's it.
Bam, 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 right here. That's what it is. Thank you, Tactics. I'm with you. Gooch, I think Patrick had flashbacks in the Super Bowl when Wiley had to block it right.
You're probably not wrong.
I agree. Like, if both Niang and Remmers are out, it's going to be a problem. What would be your suggestion for a solution, Dan?
We did talk a little bit about this. I would just play Prince Teo Winogo. That's what I would do. I would just say, I know what Andrew Wiley is. I know he's not very good. At least I got a guy out there who has upside.
There is upside. 0 experience. I don't know. I couldn't do it. That's where Dan and I will differ for a little bit. Gooch, you can throw that in there too. I miss Albert Wilson and Chris Conley. Give me OBJ. Voodoo. OBJ is more like Antonio Brown than either of those guys. He will probably show up with burnt feet and not produce at all, is my guess. I don't think he wants to be here. I don't want him here. Do you want him, Dan?
If he ends up in Kansas City, I'm just going to kind of be like, whatever. Like, I'm not one way or the other. Because I don't think the problems are going to be solved by adding another receiver. I just don't think that that's how this works. And I know that there's people out there telling you that receivers aren't open. That's just not the case.
Yeah, exactly. There are openings there. Let's see. We hit Ingram. We hit the D-line. Spags was blitzing the young kid a lot. Yep. That obviously worked, and you do that for a reason because they don't have experience. They did get it on a run there where I felt like the momentum switched to Love and Adams. They were feeding him pretty good. And then they were able to get better performance out of Ward and Snead in particular, Fenton a little bit too. But I thought that was the turning point in terms of keeping the defense on track because they were able to adjust to what they were getting.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think that the defense did a good job of adjusting to what, like you said, like the offense of the Packers were doing. Early in the game, it was running, so they adjusted there. And then later it was throwing the ball, and they adjusted there. I think that Love did a little bit of adjusting too. He was like, okay, they're just going to blitz me, so I'm going to find one guy, and I'm going to throw the ball to him. And it doesn't matter what happens. Like, that's kind of what it did, made his decision-making a little bit better, a little bit easier. But I think that Spags, outside of playing Dan Sorensen, did a good job of adjusting what he was doing in terms of defense, run, stop, and then getting to the pass.
Yeah. D-Money, thank you for the support. I think you guys get how I feel about OBJ. I don't trust him to come in and not make a stink, make it all about him. But Bill asked a good question. What are the chances? Like 1 in a million? No. I'd say it's 1 in probably 10.
Yeah.
He said he wants to play for a contender. There's not many that are going to want to deal with his headache. And there's not many that are going to have. He did renegotiate his contract, so I think he's only like 1.6 against the cap.
No, they didn't get it down that far. He's going to be 7.25. So the Chiefs can't claim him.
Then there's 0. Yeah. Well, right. I don't think anybody's going to claim him. But that leaves all the impetus on the Browns to pay for that salary, which means the Chiefs don't have to pony up anything, even though there's offsets and all that other stuff. So
they could get the minimum, but it'll depend on him.
Exactly. That's my point. And very clearly, Bill, he would come in as the slot receiver. He would replace McCole Hardman is what he would. You're not taking Tyreek Hill off the field. And quite frankly, I don't think OBJ is in physical condition to play the X very well right now. Do you, Dan?
I think he could, but you're going to ask him to move around anyway. Tyreek still plays the X. Honestly, Tyreek Hill should be playing in the slot. You should have, if you bring OBJ in, put Tyreek Hill in the slot, have OBJ be your Z, and then find someone else to play X, like Gordon or Pringle. That's what I would do, because you're going to get your best production out of both OBJ and Tyreek Hill if that's what you do.
Voodoo, thank you. Need season changing adjustments from the offense schematically at or before the bye week. Tired of the Mahomes narratives. I can get that. The narratives aren't really the problem. It's the results, right? If they continue to win ugly, I don't think they'll change anything at least until the bye, if then. But hey,
get something going.
Like I said, W's are W's.
Yep.
Broncos beat the Cowboys today. Anything's freaking possible. So
no. Jaguars beat the Bills today.
Right. Anything's possible. KSU 1989. Thank you very much. We appreciate the support, folks. I do want to tell you something too. The Bloyer Effect show is back local here in Denver on radio, and I do believe it is going to be syndicated around the country as well. I am still the football analyst for that show on Sunday evenings, so you can catch me there on 720 here in Denver.
Ryan, too busy.
Yeah. Well, luckily it's a nice 20-minute hit and I'm out. I am not a producer for that show. Thank you, Casey Blair. You're the man. Nino, thank you for the support. We appreciate it. I heard Mahomes has an injury to his lower body. Is that what you heard too? And do you think it affects his accuracy? I haven't heard that from anyone. I do believe there's something going on there just by the way that he's moving. I don't necessarily think it's related to the toe. It could have been an aggravation of that. It just looks like he's not setting up and driving off of it very well. And that's why you see all these jump passes in particular, because just doesn't have the time or the power to plan it, I don't think. But I haven't gotten that from anyone, Dan. Have you heard that from anyone serious?
I haven't heard anything about his injury.
Okay. All right, folks, we are well over the half-hour point that I thought we'd go to. As per usual, we have a couple more super chats, and then we'll wrap it up. I think we've covered most of my notes. Kenneth, thank you again. Appreciate the support. That's second time. I think we need to go for a wide receiver and a pass rush in the draft. What do you think so far this season? I completely agree with you.
Yeah, because I don't know if they're going to want to bring back either Pringle or Robinson. Honestly, McCole Hardman's not going to survive it outside of his rookie deal here. He's not going to be in Kansas City after that.
Right, but that does include next year.
Yeah, so they're going to have to start drafting more wide receivers. Maybe next year we get to see Cornell Powell and to see how he comes around next year too. So there's going to be more. There's probably going to be an influx of wide receivers after this year that we haven't seen. You're still going to have Tyreek Hill, but there could be a whole cast of new wide receivers in here next year. And yes, edge rush is still there. Although Frank Clark might play his way into Kansas City next year if he keeps playing like this. They might just be like, okay, which wouldn't surprise me if they did.
No. I'll tell you this, and it's a long shot.
It's a long shot. There's too much money to be saved.
Right. So I agree with you there. But the other long shot is Vaughn is not playing tonight, folks. He's inactive for the first game with the Rams, and he's a free agent at the end of the year. He wears 58 because of Derek Thomas. And if you're going to finish out your career, you want to get another ring, maybe? I would be calling everybody who knows Von Miller and be like, come on, bring your chickens. Come to KC for a couple of years. It'll be fine. But yes, pass rush class looks pretty deep. Wide receiver looks hit or miss to me so far. I could be wrong. But I will say this. Of the wide receivers that I've started to track, a lot of the ones that I feel are good values are going to be late day 2, early day 3, and X's. So I think that plays into what they're looking for fairly well. Bill, thank you again. How long was a Pro Bowl right tackle as well? If Niang and Remmers missed time, could he help? He certainly could hope, but that was going on 8 seasons ago. I think.
He's still not activated. He's still not healthy. And
that's probably the most significant thing. You'd think we'd have heard something. I got 3 people asking me today, why is he not out there? I'm like, he hasn't even shown up to practice yet.
Yeah, no, he hasn't practiced.
So, I mean, there's no way to know if he's going to be available at all this year. So that's where we're at. That's the super chats. Oh, except for Daryl. Thank you, Daryl. Appreciate it. Every time I think I'm done, you guys nail me again.
Thank you, Daryl.
And I will not let one go if you guys put this in. Right. So thank you for the support. I know we can't trade Sorensen, but maybe we could give him away. I mean, it all comes back to that fact. You have Zay Anderson on the practice squad. You liked him enough to play him early. You elevated him once. do you have faith in Armani Watson him to play the third safety? And the problem being both of them are more coverage safeties than box safeties. That's the other thing. But again, there's no reason that Willie Gay shouldn't be out there every single down.
Nope.
That's all I'm saying. Xanax Ruggs is not coming to the Kansas City Chiefs. He's going to a penitentiary.
Yeah, he'll never play in the NFL again.
Yeah, this isn't going to be a thing. Okay, so rundown. Thank you, Daryl, as always.
Yes.
Last couple of notes. Willie, the second interception, the interception from Snead, Sorensen. Heavy Daryl on the last drive. That's what got them in man. Okay, so we got there. I do want to take a look at the third. Was it a third down ball to Hill and then the pass to the middle for Kelsey, right?
No, the pass to Kelsey was first, and then the third down to Hill.
Gotcha.
Because that was the play that won the game.
Yes. Folks, make sure if you're not used to us yet, like, sub, and hit the bell notification, please. We'll have more for you all week. Q&A tomorrow night at 6 Central. I'll answer all of your questions, even the silly ones. And then we have film review. I might even get my hands dirty a little bit this week, depending on time. We'll see. Dan's got you. The RHH guys, Stevie and Gooch got you. Aaron will be back when he gets home and stuff like that. So enjoy that. And for the last super chat of the evening, an old friend, Andy, first time chatter. I like that. You're a liar, by the way. But yes, I won't kid you. There's a lot of times where I'm in sandals and shorts, but tonight I am fully dressed. Thank you for asking, Andy. Okay, that's it, Chiefs Kingdom. I hope that you're happy. I hope that you enjoyed yourself. And you know what? It pays to be a winner. So, Dan, thanks for all the time tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good, guys. See you then.
Night, everyone.